Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 81.
We have to start with what looked like an impossible defense to overcome, the annihilation of the plague array.
Right, and this is where the story really establishes a kind of hierarchy of power. The setup is terrifying. You've got the Plague Master Lu Yu on his 8 trigrams platform, and he's wielding the Plague Umbrella.
An artifact designed just to spread pestilence and chaos, it could cripple the entire Zhou army without even a real fight.
But the Zhou forces have an answer. Yang Ren arrives, and he's carrying the 5-fire fan.
And the sources are, they're very specific here about the fan's power. This isn't just your standard elemental magic.
No, not at all. And that distinction is crucial. The text talks about the concept of true fire. It specifies that the fan's power comes from concentrating the 5-fire true nature. It gathers it all together. This creates a power that is just fundamentally superior to ordinary elemental fire.
The kind of fire Lu Yu actually had spells to resist?
Exactly. So his defenses were basically useless from the start. Superior magic just negated everything he had.
And the destruction, it was immediate. Yang Ren doesn't even talk. He gives one flap of the fan and the main plague umbrella is just gone, reduced to flying ashes.
And he keeps fanning. 20 other similar umbrellas meet the exact same fate. Just erased.
Then we get this really tragic little detail that shows you how indiscriminate this kind of warfare is.
Oh, the story of Li Ping. It's heartbreaking. He's a subordinate who enters the array, but not to fight. The text says he came with a point of sincerity, just trying to persuade Lu Yu to stand down.
He wasn't even an enemy at that moment. But he gets caught in the sweep of the fan.
And that sincerity was no shield at all. It was just, his fate to be there at that exact second. He's instantly turned into ash.
Wow. And Lu Yu himself, he tries to escape, right?
He does. He tries a fire avoidance spell. But again, since the fan is using true fire, the spell just fizzles. It does nothing. Yang Ren pursues him, and in another flap of the fan, Lu Yu and the entire 8 trigrams platform are gone. Ash. His 3 souls are sent straight to the Investiture of the Gods platform. Just a total absolute defeat decided in minutes.
That is an overwhelming victory. A massive threat just wiped off the board, but even in that triumph, there's an immediate cost. The sources tell us what it did to the commander, Zia. He's found gravely injured, his face like pale gold.
Yes, and that's not a sword wound. That's the toll that commanding and just surviving power on that scale takes. It's the cost of magical warfare. He has to be carried by Wu Ji, put on a couch, and Yun Zongzi himself has to administer a specific divine pill, a danyao, just to save him. Victory had a very steep price.
So Zia barely recovers, and then he just pivots completely. He shifts the war from overwhelming magic to pure military strategy. The next target is Trudun Pass.
It's a classic move. It shows that even with all these gods helping you, victory still comes down to good intelligence and logistics. Zia learns from Yang Ren that he'd already managed to secretly place 4 key commanders inside the pass.
Ah, the famous quartet. Hong Feihu, Nang Gongxi, Hong Jin, and Zhu Gai. This is the classic inside-outside attack.
And the enemy commander, Zhu Fang, is already on shaky ground.
Yeah.
He's heard about the plague array being destroyed.
Yeah.
So the Zhou army launches this massive frontal siege. It's designed to be psychologically crushing.
The description is just incredible. The noise is like heaven collapsing. You have cloud ladders and fire cannons. It's a total sensory assault.
And this is where the individual heroes shine. Lei Zhenzi, who's described as fierce and wicked, he doesn't bother with ladders. He just flies into the air and collapses half of the enemy tower with a single swing of his club.
And then there's Nessa. He uses his windfire wheels to just scale the city wall. He gets down, cuts the lock from the inside, and throws the gates open for the main army.
It was strategically flawless. Xu Fang is overwhelmed, tries to fight his way out. And that's when the 4 generals emerge from inside, boxing him in. Huang Feihu rushes him. Xu Fang dodges the sword, but the blade slices right through his horse's neck. He's thrown to the ground and captured alive.
Let's talk about Zia's judgment of him, because it's immediate and it's harsh. He calls Xu Fang a beast among men. That's intense.
It is, and it's a political statement as much as a military one. Zia names 2 specific betrayals. First, his failure in military duty, but second, and maybe more importantly, for trapping his own brother, for extinguishing the sentiment of siblings.
So this public execution isn't just about winning a pass.
No, Zia is cementing the moral high ground. He's sending a message to his own troops. Loyalty, especially family loyalty, is absolute. And if you break that, you get executed and your head goes on the wall. It's a brutal way to ensure discipline.
So we have a victory from superior magic, then a victory from superior strategy. The Zhou army must be feeling unstoppable. But then comes the irony. The very next objective, Tong Pass, is where everything just reverses instantly.
It's such a jarring switch. They
Yeah.
go from this large-scale strategic win to these highly individualized, almost personal duels. They get to Ton Pass, defended by Yu Hulong and his 4 sons, and they run headfirst into a totally different kind of enemy. These guys don't rely on big arrays or fortified walls. They rely on tricky, concealed artifacts.
The first clash is Tai Luan against the eldest son, Yu Da. The source makes Yu Da sound formidable. Silver armor, red robe, a steel whip like an iron tower.
Right, and they do the customary verbal sparring, treacherous rebels versus following heaven's mandate. They fight?
And they fight for 20 to 30 rounds. This is an evenly matched duel between 2 skilled warriors.
It seems that way. But then Yu Da fakes a retreat, Tai Luan pursues, and that's the mistake. He's playing by the old rules. Yu Da pulls out a hidden weapon, the heart-striking pestle.
And it's just over. The pestle hits Tai Luan in the face, knocks him down, and Yu Da finishes him with a spear. A general who held his own for 30 rounds is just taken out by a hidden projectile.
Exactly. So the Zhou forces immediately send in another veteran, Su Hu, an old royal relative. He faces the second son, Yu Zhao.
And Yu Zhao tries a moral argument first, right, warning him that the Shun dynasty is doomed.
He does. But Su Hu isn't having it. He says their time is over. So they fight. But this duel is even shorter, less than 10 rounds. Then Yu Zhao pulls out his own trick. He unfurls an apricot yellow banner.
And this isn't an offensive weapon at all, it's for misdirection.
A complete misdirection. A flash of golden light and poof, Yu Zhao and his horse just vanish. Su Hu is left standing there looking around, totally confused. His guard is completely down.
And that's the opening. Yu Zhao reappears behind him and stabs him in the flank with a spear, kills him instantly. So in rapid succession, 2 major Zhou generals are dead. Killed not by skill, but by surprise tactics.
And their souls go straight to the Investiture platform. In just a few hours, all that Zhou momentum is gone. They're suddenly facing a huge problem.
Su Quanzong, Su Hu's eldest son, he is just consumed by grief and rage.
Understandably.
So he just charges out, demanding a fight. This isn't a calculated move. It's pure, raw emotion. He's fighting recklessly.
And the Yu family is ready to exploit that. The third son, Yu Grong, steps up to meet him.
At first, it seems like a normal duel. They go for, over 20 rounds? Spear against Ji, a real test of skill.
But you get the sense the Yu family was never interested in a fair fight.
Not for a second. Yu Guang fakes a retreat, turns his back, and runs.
A classic trap.
Mm-hmm.
And Su Quanzong, who is just blinded by anger, falls for it completely. He shouts, he gives chase.
And that's the pivot point. The moment he's in pursuit, Yu Guang turns and throws his hidden weapon.
The Plum Blossom Dart, the Meiwa Biao. And the sources are really specific here, which I find fascinating.
He doesn't just throw one dart.
No, he throws 5. 5 darts all at once.
That's not a duel. That's an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
It's designed to overwhelm.
And it works.
Yeah.
Su Quanzong is hit by 3 of them. He's forced to retreat, wounded.
Humiliated, too. And for Zia's forces, this is a clear signal. Honorable combat is off the table. Trickery and specialized weapons are now the standard.
It also guarantees the next engagement won't be another small skirmish. It's going to be an all-out war.
Which brings us right to the great battle. The next day, General Yu Halong and all 4 of his fighting sons, Yu Da, Zhao, Guang, and Xin, they all come out.
They're challenging Zia directly. But first, we get that great verbal sparring match.
I love this part. Yu Halong is all about tradition and authority. He mocks Zia's shallow origins, calls him a rebel.
But Zia just takes the high ground. He basically tells him, look, you're resisting the mandate of heaven. This is futile. Surrender now, and you can keep your status.
It's a debate over cosmic legitimacy, really.
Exactly. And when words fail, as they always do,
chaos, the battle erupts. It's not one duel. It's 4 huge, simultaneous duels happening at once. It must have been pandemonium.
total pandemonium. Su Quanzong, he's back out for revenge. He's fighting Yu Da. Then you have Wu Ji versus Yu Zhao.
Deng Xiu against Yu Guang, and Wang Feihu takes on Yu Shan.
It's just a massive, violent clash. And the sources, they don't shy away from the brutality. They talk about corpses covering the field, blood congealing in haste.
It's slaughter, not a heroic battle.
And in all that chaos, Su Quanzong gets into trouble again. He's chasing Yu Da and gets caught by a massive swing from Yu Da's club, his Chu.
Hits him right on the breastplate.
Shatters it. He goes down hard. He is once again on the verge of being killed.
And this is the moment where you see the Zhou army can't win on their own. They just can't.
Their celestial allies have to step in.
Su Quanzong is only saved because Lei Zhenzi, the one with the giant wings, swoops in and blocks the killing blow.
which gives Deputy General Qi Gong just enough time to drag him back to safety.
So the intervention starts as defense, but it quickly turns offensive. Yu Huolon sees Zia on the command platform and decides to go right nub ahead.
A smart move, but it doesn't work.
No, Naza intercepts him before he can even get close.
And now the floodgates open. We are fully in the realm of supernatural warfare. Yang Jian arrives.
And seeing this stalemate, he makes let's call it an unconventional move.
Very unconventional. He doesn't draw a sword. He deploys his secret weapon, his partner.
The Howling Celestial Hound, Zhou Tianquan.
And you can just imagine the shock. This magical beast appears out of nowhere. The sources say Yu Huolong doesn't even see it coming.
It bites his neck so hard it rips his helmet clean off. I mean, that's not just an attack, that's psychological warfare. A monster from another world just de-helmed you.
Precisely. And in that moment of shock and pain, Naza sees his opening.
He throws his own signature weapon, the Universe Ring, the Qin Kun Quan.
It slams into Yu Xian's shoulder, taking him out of the fight. And that's it. Between the magic dog and the flying ring, the Yu family command just breaks.
The Zhou forces finally get their victory. A very, very bloody victory.
But they only won because they brought out the big guns. They had used high-level immortal powers. And the sources hint that this is far from over.
Right, there's that line about the flying disaster will descend again. That's not a good sign.
No, it's not. And it's immediately justified. Back in their camp, Yu Huolong and Yu Xian are severely wounded. Huolong has this mysterious bite mark.
They won the field, but they've just angered something much deeper.
Which is the perfect entrance for the fifth son, Yu Dai.
Ah, yes, the one they've been saving. He gets home, sees his father's wound, and what's the first thing he does?
He identifies it instantly, says, that's from the Zhou Tianquan. This guy knows exactly what he's up against.
And he doesn't just know, he has a cure. He pulls out some kind of ointment and instantly heals his father and brother.
Which tells you everything. This isn't a warrior. The sources are very clear. He's a practitioner of the left path, the Zuodao. He's shrouded in what they call evil energy. Siiki.
Let's unpack that. The left path. It's not just evil in a simple sense, right?
Right. In this cosmology, Zuodao is magic that rejects the orthodox virtuous path. It's about seeking power that is quick, destructive, and chaotic. It fundamentally challenges what Zia's side stands for.
So Yu Dai doesn't care about honor or rules. He just wants to win.
By any means necessary. He immediately goes out and challenges Zia.
And this time, the Zhou forces know what they're dealing with. They don't send one hero. They send everybody.
The whole A-team. Zia, Yang Jian, Naza, Lei Zhenzi, Wei Hu, Jinza, Muza, Li Jing. They all surge forward at once.
They're trying to swarm him, to shut him down before he can do whatever it is he does.
It's a smart plan. But even this overwhelming force of heroes and immortals isn't enough.
Yang Jin manages to get a shot in. He uses his slingshot to fire a golden pellet, a Jinwan, and it hits Yu Dai.
But he doesn't fall. He doesn't even seem that injured. He just disappears.
He uses the earth tunneling ability to Din and just vanishes into the ground.
This isn't just an escape. It's a demonstration of power. He's showing them that their physical weapons are irrelevant. He controls the elements.
And for Zia, this is it. This is the moment his master's prophecy comes true. Beware of Da, Zhao, Guang, Shang, Dai.
They dealt with the first four, barely. But the fifth one, the master of the left path, he got away.
And his goal isn't just to retreat, it's to get revenge. Total, absolute vengeance.
He vows to completely eradicate the Zhou army. And the conflict shifts again. It's no longer a battle. It's the deployment of a mystical weapon of mass destruction.
He tells his brothers to purify themselves, to prepare for a ritual.
This is the climax. This is the truly terrifying part of the source material. At midnight, Yu Dai sets up the ritual space.
He lays out 5 cloths: blue, yellow, red, white, and black.
And 5 small ladles, or dewar. These were used for grain, but here, they're filled with something else.
The colors are key, aren't they? They're not just random.
Not at all. They correspond directly to the 5 elements: blue for wood, yellow for earth, red for fire, white for metal, and black for water.
So he's not just casting a spell, he's trying to weaponize the fundamental building blocks of the cosmos.
Exactly. He's hijacking the system. The brothers stand on the cloths, ready to sprinkle the contents of the ladles, and then Yu Dai performs the ritual itself.
He uses his primordial, vital, energy Xiantian, Yiki, and mystical seals, Fuyin.
The effect is immediate. A terrifying wind kicks up. The sources say it's strong enough to pull up trees, to collapse mountains.
And hidden in the wind are demon shadows and strange monsters.
And the goal is stated very clearly: to unleash a plague that will destroy the entire Zhou army.
In 7 days.
Just 7 days.
So if you're listening, you can see the whole arc. The battle for Tong Pass is over. The fighting has stopped. But it's been replaced by a 7-day countdown to annihilation.
The victory they fought so hard for, the one they needed magical dogs and divine intervention to win, it's suddenly completely irrelevant. We are entering the realm of, well, ancient biological warfare.
That's absolutely right. And the source material we have here, it's incredible. It details this catastrophic infectious disease outbreak.
Right.
An outbreak that brought the entire Zhou army right to its knees.
The sources name him very clearly.
They do. Yude.
And he wasn't using ordinary weapons. He unleashes something called the 5 Directions Poisonous Pox.
And this was a targeted, almost cosmologically precise plague. He didn't even need to fight them.
How did he deliver it?
The sources say he just sprinkled it from the air over the entire Zhou camp, from 4 directions, 8 sides, all night until 4 in the morning.
So it's an atmospheric assault.
It's not just a poison. It's a weapon designed to just completely disrupt the elemental balance of the soldiers' bodies.
And the effects were swift.
Oh, swift and total. You're talking about 600,000 soldiers.
Wow.
Plus their commander, Jiangxia, and King Wu himself, all of them.
So everyone who was, as the source says, flesh and blood.
Exactly. Emphasizing that moral vulnerability. The symptoms started out pretty standard. Fever, body aches.
Okay.
But after 3 days, these terrible pustules, or granules, as the text calls them, they erupt all over.
And crucially, it caused total immobility. They couldn't move. They couldn't fight.
The camp just went silent. The source has this chilling line. Camp smoke and fire ceased.
No one cooking, no one moving.
The Zhou army was neutralized.
So there's this one detail that really jumps out, linking the weapon to the mythology.
Zia's appearance.
Yeah, he was entirely black. And the pox itself manifested in the colors of the 5 directions.
Blue, yellow, red, white, and black.
So why that specific color palette? What's that telling us?
Well, that links directly back to the 5 elements. Wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. The entire foundation of their cosmology.
So by using all 5 colors.
Yude wasn't just delivering a disease. He was delivering a pox engineered to attack and destabilize all 5 elemental systems in the body at the same time. It was a perfect, supernatural, biological strike.
It sounds completely unstoppable. And yet, there were a couple of exceptions.
2 notable ones, yes. And understanding why they were immune is, well, it's the key.
Okay, so who was first?
First, Niza. He was totally untouched. Why? Because of his lotus flower body.
Not a body of flesh and blood.
Precisely. It's a spiritual construct. The poison had nothing to latch onto.
So his body wasn't made of the elements of the mortal plane, so the elemental poison just couldn't affect him.
That's it. And the second exception was Yang Jane.
Right.
He knew Yude practiced what the sources call left path sorcery.
Dark magic.
Basically. And he had the foresight to stay out of the main camp and use his own esoteric methods to stay immune.
Without those 2, the story would have ended right there.
It would have. The Zhou dynasty would have been a footnote.
Which brings us to this critical pause, the moment when the Zhou forces are at their absolute most vulnerable.
Right. Yu Hualong and his sons are watching from Tong Pass, and they just see this deathly silence. They know the enemy has collapsed.
And the sources detail this debate they have. One of the sons, Yuda, he sees the obvious move.
Of course. Rush the pass. Instant victory.
Only one battle needed for success. I mean, that's textbook military strategy.
It is. But Yude, the guy who made the plague, he overrules him.
Why?
Arrogance. He says attacking is unnecessary. His quote is something like, "My marvelous method is boundless."
So he thought the 600,000 soldiers would just naturally perish.
He wanted a clean, effortless win to prove his magic was superior.
Was that confidence or was that just terrible strategy? I mean, the text says if they had followed Yude's advice, the Zhou forces would have been wiped out.
No survivors.
No survivors.
And this is where the narrative pivots, It moves from being about military tactics to being about fate. The text explicitly tells you that King Wu's great fortune saved the army. It wasn't that Yude made a mistake. It was that destiny, the mandate for this new dynasty, it protected them.
So they had to survive for the cosmic story to continue.
Exactly. But even with fate on their side, the situation on the ground was getting worse.
Right. Zia was now extremely critical, barely breathing.
So this requires the highest tier of intervention.
Cue the mentors.
Yellow Dragon and Jade Cauldron Immortals. These are not low-level masters. Their arrival signals this crisis has gone way beyond what mortals can fix.
And the Jade Cauldron Immortal looks at Zia, who is just dying, and basically says, "What?"
It's strange, right? He basically offers philosophical comfort. He says, look, you've fulfilled your required 7 deaths and 3 calamities. Your reputation is secure.
Wait. The general is dying, the army's rotting, and the best they can say is, "Don't worry, your legacy is safe."
Yeah.
That is some cold bedside manner.
Well, for an immortal, you have to think the spatial continuity is what matters most. They were stabilizing his spirit first.
Okay, fine.
But they knew they needed a material cure, so they dispatched Yang Jian immediately
Using his Earth escape ability.
to go seek help from the ultimate authorities, the 3 sovereigns at Firecloud Cave.
And the imagery here is just incredible. The source paints this picture of dragon scale layered pines, phoenix tail intersecting bamboos.
Rocks like crouching tigers, old vines like twisting dragons.
It's an immediate signal to you, the reader, that this is not just another mountain.
This is sacred ground. This is where civilization was founded.
And once he gets there, Yang Jin meets these supreme figures, Fuxi and Shenong.
And to really grasp the gravity of this, you have to remember who these 2 are. Fuxi, originator of writing, and the Bagua.
And Shenong, the divine farmer who tasted every herb to create medicine.
They're the architects of human civilization itself.
So Yang Jin presents this letter from the mentors. And it's basically an appeal to the founders of civilization for a life-saving miracle.
A miracle to keep fate on track, yeah. And the miracle comes from Shenong, the divine healer.
In the form of 3 pills.
3 pills. 1 for King Wu, 1 for Zia, and then that crucial 3rd pill.
The public health pill. The one for the mass casualty event.
Yes. Dissolved in water to be sprinkled across the camp by Yang Jin and Neja. But before he leaves, Fuxi, the master diagnostician, he gives the disease a name.
He calls it Duzian.
Yes, Duzian. He identifies it as an infectious pox, basically smallpox.
Which is one of the most feared diseases in human history.
So to have the mythological founder of medicine identify it and say it's fatal if not treated promptly, that grounds this whole story in a very real public health danger.
And this is where the whole thing pivots. It goes from military fantasy to, like, a medical legacy.
It really does.
Because Yang Jian asks the most important question. Not for now, but for the future. What if this spreads to the human world?
This is the moment the text becomes a medical treatise, hidden inside a war epic.
So what does Shenong do?
He takes Yang Jian to the Purple Cloud Cliff, and he gives him a specific herb, ensuring humanity will have a remedy long after this war is over.
And the herb was Shenma.
Black cohosh, yes.
And what's so fascinating is the source doesn't just name it. It gives instructions, right?
Yeah.
In a poem.
An actual pharmacological instruction manual disguised as poetry. It says, purple stalks, yellow roots, 8-petaled flower. It treats and brings out pox eruptions.
So it's literally transmitting medical knowledge.
Through the story itself, it's designed to be remembered.
So with the cure secured, the resolution is incredibly fast.
Soupy fast. Yang Jian and Nessa mix the pill in water. They use a willow branch.
A symbol of purification.
And they sprinkle it across the entire camp.
And the recovery is just instantaneous.
The pox poison just vanishes. The special disciples recover first, and then the entire army, all 600,000 of them.
But the experience leaves a scar.
Literally.
And emotionally. As he sees the actual scars, the pockmarks on his disciples' faces.
A physical reminder of their near-death experience.
And that trauma, it galvanizes them. It turns all that fear into this righteous fury.
Your collective vow is powerful.
If we don't take tongue pass today, we will not return.
That psychological impact of surviving a plague gives them the final push they needed.
The rage and resolve to finish the job, absolutely.